Welcome to Badminton Racket Review and this final test session of 2018, and today we have racket number 599. It is the FZ Forza Precision 10,000S. Let's go through the specs of this racket and compare it to the E-zone testing. Right, so we have a weight of this racket 87 plus or minus 1 gram. The E-zone testing for this racket is 89.2 grams. The balance point 290 plus minus 2, which is kind of fairly even. Well, we have our balance test shows it at 314, giving it a head heavy. So we balance it towards the head. Now that's a big difference. I'm not surprised. I've seen this many times before, particularly with nano ray rackets, which are supposed to be even balanced, and we put them on the, and the thing is, the reason that it doesn't really phase us is because the balance test is not a test you can get wrong. You know, you have the equipment, you place a racket on, move it this way, move it that way, it balances, and you take the reading. So it's one of the most simple tests that you can do, and it's very difficult to get wrong, as I say. So actually it's head heavy. Now this is how this racket has been supplied by Forza with this grip on. I don't know if that's having an effect on the balance point compared to the original manufacturers, because this is not the original grip. You can see the taping here. This is how Forza have supplied it to us, so that could be a factor. The string tension on this, 32 pounds. Nice, 32 pounds. These days people do like to string up, so that's good to have that option. And the shaft stiffness of this racket is 4, so definitely towards stiff, and the E-zone testing for that shows it also to be a stiff shaft, and it shows it to be a power 9 out of 10, so full power, and innovated in Denmark, made in Taiwan, and all the little bits around the. I noticed this as with the Ashaways, they have this 88 hole head design, so that you can have more string. The string bed is more concentrated than some of the other rackets that are produced. Not sure if that gives you more control, or supposedly more control, or not, but it's a factor for Ashaway and for FZ Forzas. Now the availability of this is not too bad, but the only problem is we haven't had a chance to check stock levels, but certainly if you type in the FZ Forza Precision 10,000S, you do get a range of places that you could purchase this from. We won't be selling this at our racket site, however we do have a range of FZ Forzas available at www.badminton-racket-review.com. You can click this link above to go to the site. Now let's talk about design. The design of the racket it's very FZ Forza-esque. You know, I've seen this kind of design on a lot of their rackets. It's not a bad design. Certainly the print quality is brilliant. The standard of the racket is brilliant. The build also feels really sturdy on the racket. So it's really good. We've got some close-up pictures here so you get a better idea of the design of the racket. I have to say this one has been sent to us by Forza for testing, and it is a little bit worn and torn, but we are trying to take shots of it where it's not so worn and torn, but here they are anyway. Okay, so it is court testing time. Let's go to the E-zone court tests. So here are the Badminton Racket Review E-Zone key points for testing. Firstly, all rackets are restrung with the same string. Or they were, but this is now no longer being made, so we will be shifting to this string from 2019. All rackets are restrung to 25 pounds of tension. All rackets, 25 pounds of tension. We use the same shuttles, the Yonex AS30s for the control, maneuver and smash test. The player in the smash test uses the same velocity or same power, or as much as is humanly possible to do so, for each test. The control test, obviously it's the same player with the same abilities, and the maneuver test, well, it's a fairly isolated range of movement in fairness. That's all the key information for you. Let's get back to the court testing. And now we are going to move on to the E-Zone smash test. The E-Zone smash test is designed to reveal the racket smash potential, which we measure the shuttle speed in kilometers per hour, and at the same time we measure the relative head speed of the racket during travel. Here's an example of a smash test captured in a JPEG. This is not the actual FZ Forza Precision, it was only an example, but that kind of image is presented on every single individual racket page within the E-Zone. Now on to the actual smash test. Okay, now it's on to the E-Zone maneuver test. We want to see the maximum speed the racket can achieve from rest. So it's like a 0 to 60 test. We measure the head speed of the racket head, recording the fastest speed it achieves in kilometers per hour. The player is isolated to a singular movement during this test, so this highlights differences like the reaction speed of the racket, the aerodynamics of the racket and stuff like that. Time for the E-Zone control test. In this test we place 4 large buckets in front of the player. He aims for the green bucket every time. Every shuttle in the green bucket scores maximum. Shuttles going into the grey bucket score less, and anything in the net or out doesn't score at all. The clip we show you here is half or less of the total test that we do. So the FZ Precision 10000S. Now, as I said to you with the Kawasaki video, when we are sent rackets and we're starting to see a bigger movement in that direction now, where we're having certainly E-Zone members for sure, people who are actually getting all the information on rackets are definitely being influenced, it seems, by the E-Zone, and therefore their buying patterns are being influenced by the E-Zone. And why not? Because otherwise what you're going by, you know, this is the whole reason the E-Zone was set up. People walk into a shop, they see an ad on YouTube, they see some promotion by a company, and they just go out and buy the racket, and it really doesn't work for them, or they spent way over their budget or whatever. Not, you've all been there, I've been there, we've experienced that. Or you might just end up by fluke getting a racket that's perfect for you, but that chances of that are very little. The better the research you put into buying a product, generally the better the result you get. So when FZ Forza send these to us, they're more than aware that the E-zone testing, all the testing that we do is done on the same basis for all rackets. It doesn't matter if it's £1,000 racket or a £10 racket, the testing procedure is the same. And this racket, although it doesn't do anything particularly badly, it's not particularly hard to use, it's not particularly difficult, but I wouldn't also, you know, like the Kawasaki was just a lively frame. I'm talking about the Kawasaki because that was the racket that we tested prior to this, and it was a lively frame. And this racket, although it does everything pretty well, certainly doesn't lack in power. It can offer good control, defense, and so on and so forth. But there are a lot of other rackets that do perform better than it. So if you're an FZ Forza fan, certainly try the Precision S. Certainly can deliver some great power, as the shaft suggests. But there are other options on the market too. If you want to hear the full review on this racket, you need to go to the E-zone. If you want to see all the racket specs, you need to go to the E-zone too. Here's an example of the E-zone and what you get when you go to our website. Thanks for tuning in today. Your support, super appreciated. Your comments, super appreciated. Likes, subscriptions, likes on Facebook, Instagram followers. The E-zone subscriptions this year have just grown beyond our wildest beliefs. You know, it's really good to see the feedback we're getting from the E-zone platform, and next year that will be redeveloped from the comments we had from our members. Actually, we're listening to the badminton players out there who want to see different information displayed in different ways, so that's all going to happen. We're constantly working hard to provide you with the best possible information on rackets anywhere in the world, anytime in history. So Badminton Racket Review is the world's #1 badminton racket review site. No one's ever tested more rackets in greater depth than we have. It's great to have you here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.